Morning, everybody. Welcome to a liveless LOCPOD.
Liveless. Wow. Recorded, also known as liveless.
I think this is the first show in the 120 shows-ish that we've done that it is not live because of Comcast's failure.
Comcast ineptness.
Comcast sucks. And because
even WMCD's out. Everything's out.
Everything's out. So we cannot air live, but that's fine. So what we're doing right now is we're just taping this live. You're listening to us probably through Apple Pod or Spotify or YouTube or who knows, maybe even the posted version on Facebook. And we're going to just go with the show.
Yeah, this is something new, and it's a lot of podcasts do it this way. So we had one other episode where a snowstorm got us, but that was
did we tape it or we just cancel?
I think we just canceled, didn't we?
I don't recall.
Didn't you come in the next day and do it?
Did we?
Maybe
I think we did the next day.
You're right, Joe.
Maybe we should have done that.
Yeah, let's just go home.
Oh, well, let's see what happens.
So that was another failure.
We could just punt if this episode sucks. I could say all kinds of offensive stuff.
And if it's great, we'll just tape all of ours.
And if I say something really bad, just step on it.
We'll let Marissa review it.
We'll just delete the whole episode, right? Just never happened. People wouldn't know.
We'll have to do thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right.
We'll never know.
That's a good idea. By the way, happy birthday, Marissa.
Yes,
Yay.
Judge.
Even though
Judge McDermott,
she'll probably
happy
get
birthday.
this 3 days from now. I want her to know I was thinking about her.
What was her present? Can you say it on the
I got her
taped?
earrings and a nice dinner downtown with Chase and Eileen and Patrick and myself.
Very nice.
Don't tell Lindsay, she'll get pissed. But Lindsay's so busy.
Well, you knew she wouldn't be here on Tuesday. So.
It's hard to seriously. Lindsay's got a brutal schedule right now. It's hard to even get her for a Sunday night dinner. It's not even easy anymore. Lindsay's been so busy between. She's got a job. She got another job tutoring students at Purdue. So she tutors students at Purdue. She works in the hospital, and then she's a full-time nursing student.
So no time for dinner for Marissa's birthday.
Lindsay's pretty busy right now.
I thought the present you brought Marissa was this beautiful...
that was a present for
Ruth
Marissa.
Bader. Was it?
From Judge Cantar. Actually.
Oh,
Judge
nice.
Cantar and Marissa are good friends. Judge Cantar is also good friends with the mayor. But Judge Cantar is known for her amazing gifts.
Great gift giver.
She is a great gift giver. And Marissa came home last night, and on our porch was this, among other things. And I asked her if I could steal it for the studio. It's a beanie of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
So now we have the notorious RBG in the house.
She's next to... my dad. She's next to...
Abraham Lincoln.
Whatever that...
Also known as Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. She's next to that fuzzy bear that represents the
Mascot
Hall of Fame. Right, whatever that thing's called.
And a bottle of scotch.
And, a bottle of scotch.
In between a bottle of scotch and bourbon.
Scotland scotch, even. So it's legit. So anyway.
Welcome to the studio, RBG.
Yeah, it's great to have RBG watching over us. But anyway, happy birthday to Marissa. That was nice.
Very nice. Today or yesterday?
It was today.
Today is her birthday.
It is today, yeah.
All right. Happy birthday.
But by the time she hears this, it was...
it was yesterday.
Yesterday or the day before, right?
Whenever this gets up.
We're not going to... If this show sucks, that's a cool thing. It's like we're operating without a net here.
You do whatever you want.
I'm going to be edgy as hell today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because if it sucks, then we'll just punt.
I don't...
What happened to, season 4, episode 21? We're like, never happened.
MIA.
Yeah, it never happened.
I know I don't want to go too much on the Bears game yesterday because, some people don't really follow sports that listen to us, and I appreciate that. But can I just say the ref that called that taunting foul on Marsh in the fourth quarter was total bullshit.
Yeah, that was a horrible call.
I mean, what do you...
It was in the ref, hip checked Marsh from the Bears.
It was ridiculous.
He literally went out of his way so that Marsh, when he was running off the field, would run into him. And then as soon as Marsh ran into him, the ref threw a 15-yard penalty, and it was on a third down stop.
He threw the flag after the hip check.
And the ref got in the way of Marsh.
He
literally
positioned himself
so that he would be hit by Marsh, who was running off the field.
And we all know that if you touch a referee or an umpire or anything in any sport, you're...
And the ref says it was taunting, but that's bull crap because he didn't throw the flag until after the hip check occurred.
Correct. He didn't throw the flag. So there's a video of Marsh, and John's going to play it. So if you're watching it on Facebook Live or YouTube, you can see this.
Facebook Live?
Facebook.
I'm sorry, Facebook.
In general.
Or YouTube.
Meta.
Or YouTube.
Or YouTube. You can see this. But basically, you'll see Marsh, number 59 of the Bears, go over kind of after he's sacked. And he said this was always a celebration. He didn't say anything to the
His celebration is stupid.
Fine, fair enough.
It is stupid.
But no flag
was thrown. He went towards
the
other sideline, looking at him like an asshole.
Sure.
By the way, this guy's a reserve player. Shut the hell up and get on the sideline,
Fair enough.
asshole.
Fair enough.
That's a problem with America and the Bears. Is you're getting your butt kicked and you're celebrating when you're losing.
And that's not just the Bears, by the way. That's like
I agree.
NFL,
Yeah.
NBA,
If
MLB.
I'd be like, look at the scoreboard, idiot.
It's like Javi Baez when he hits a home run in the 9th inning when they're down by 7.
And he's strutting, and they're down by 7. That's why I hated him, by the way.
Hey, just imagine what it would look like because it's not going to play.
All right, so great.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
that.
so
Goddamn Comcast.
No play.
no play.
So
trying.
do me a favor. Could we call this episode Comcast Sucks?
Yes,
Thank
I think
you.
that's
we got
appropriate.
the title.
But you'll see if you see the video and watch it, it's all over the internet today. You will see him go over to the kind of towards the Steelers bench, whatever. He's like looking at him, staring at him, and then he goes back towards the referee. The referee moves in front of him, hip checks the player, then throws the flag.
And it was a big call too.
Think if that was the other way around.
No, I agree. If the player hit the umpire, he'd be suspended
For games, probably.
Yeah, like maybe not even the rest of the season he would play.
But
the umpire could get literally the referee could get right in front of the football player, so that the referee instigates contact.
The flag.
And then he throws a flag after the contact. It's a bullshit move.
I think if the NFL is all about like honor and integrity, they should suspend the ref. They should suspend the ref.
Right.
They should tell him he can't ref postseason, and they should fine him.
By the way, you see what's going on with the Raiders, right?
Whoa.
They have
total self-destruction.
Yeah, dude. Like this team's melting down.
You know what Charlie said? They should have never moved to Vegas.
I tell you, right? So
Sin
one of
City.
their first round draft pick, it's a tragedy.
He was on my fantasy team.
And I was the one to inform you, but like he was driving 156 miles an hour at 3 a.m. drunk.
Smart.
And he hit a lady with her dog and destroyed their lives, killed them both.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
my God.
Yeah, so the Raiders let him go. He was a promising first round draft pick.
Unbelievable receiver.
And then within days, another one of their rocket scientists, wide receivers, posts a gun on Facebook or on social media, posts a picture of him with a gun threatening to kill somebody.
Yeah. I heard it was
These guys are multimillionaires. You
That's
freaking
insane.
moron.
4th DUI on the team, by the way.
Dude,
this
these
year.
guys are flat stupid.
And don't forget about Gruden.
Well, yeah, Gruden
He
was dumb.
was done.
You're right, man. It just starts from the top. That's a good point.
Moved to Las Vegas. Look what happens.
But like honestly, you can't fix freaking just flat dumb people.
I like that. You can't fix stupid.
It is. These guys are absolute idiots. You got probably 15 million in your bank account. You freaking moron.
Yeah.
And you go out there with a gun. What a dumb shit.
You've been
like,
blessed.
Seriously.
You've been blessed.
You
with
are the dumbest son of a
skills.
bitch in America.
Yeah.
Like seriously, this guy doesn't deserve to play. He'll be broke 2 years from now too. He's a dumb shit.
Hopefully, he'll be in prison.
Seriously, what a dumbass. Like,
I mean-
you've been blessed, idiot. You're still like a gangbanger. Get the hell out of here.
You've
you
been
freaking
blessed with
moron.
skills that 99.999% of the
You've
world
been blessed.
don't have.
God kissed you.
Yes.
And you're still a stupid SOB. Posting stuff. What a dumbass.
Wouldn't we
man.
be rather playing on? Would you be rather playing on Sundays or sitting here in the studio?
I know, right? I tell you what, man. Seriously? So now the Raiders are dead in the water.
they're-
They lost their head coach, 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
They were struggling already. And
That's your pick of the week. Bet against the Raiders.
I'm telling you, man. That is a dumb. Like it starts from the top. They need to hire somebody like me, and I'll come in and clean
There
the
you
joint
go.
up.
You'll clean house.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
I'm the wolf. Bring in the wolf.
look out.
Yeah. You remember the wolf from Pulp Fiction?
I was just gonna say.
Never seen it.
Really?
What?
No.
Oh my God! Get out, Jill.
Jill?
You can't be here anymore.
let me
That is your assignment between now and
Seriously,
next Tuesday.
Jill, it's a great movie.
Never
that
seen
you have to
You
see
have to.
that.
Seriously, you'll be happy. It's a wonderful movie.
You'll be happy.
Like you'll be thanking us next episode.
You'll be happy.
Yeah.
Feels like that's
never
great because
seen
I'm
The
never happy.
Godfather.
That's the name of the episode.
Oh,
You'll be
my
happy.
God.
Yeah,
The
it's
Godfather.
over.
But I get it. Some women don't watch The Godfather. But Pulp Fiction is solid.
I mean, Jill bakes a good cake. She's got that.
But,
going
like,
for her,
bake
she
a
hasn't
cake and
seen
watch
Pulp
it-
Fiction.
I don't know what the hell that means.
I mean, she's busy doing other things.
Is that code for something?
No.
Bakes a cake.
She
with
does.
Air quotes.
Speaking
Oh.
of baking cake, yeah. How about this Tom's
Veterans. Day?
Tom's No, I was going to say bake like Tom's weed
Oh.
Yeah. LOCPOD in the news.
I know we're kind of jumping ahead, but
you are jumping ahead.
holy smokes.
For the record.
That's going to be
You can't follow you can't. Are you just saying it was a good lead in? So we're gonna
It was a great lead in.
we're gonna skip the whole thing that we talked about before. We're just gonna jump right ahead.
Wow,
Right?
We'll
John.
come back to it.
I didn't get.
Oh
those
really?
notes, so
I
it
bet you we're
seems
gonna forget
pretty
these
on
two, and then you know what? I'm just gonna leave here empty feeling because of you, John.
Because there's
you're
no live
jumping around.
audience.
Like
Okay.
there's no live audience. John can
Hammond
do
had a
whatever he wants.
Veterans Parade. And
Yeah. But yeah, LOCPOD was in the news, by the way.
A lot in the news, thanks to you.
crazy.
Nationwide. Like
It's nationwide.
it is. It was nationwide. It was all over the place. I did a search before we got here today. McDermott marijuana dead Chicago. Okay?
Wow.
4 words, and I got like a page
McDermott
filled
marijuana
Dead.
dead Chicago.
with right.
Okay.
Good words.
Yes.
Right?
Search terms.
Right. I got like a whole screen and I screenshotted it and brought it in. KQHA, Vox.com, WoWo.com, WGN TV, ChicagoBusiness.com, BaltimoreSun.com, ChicagoBusiness.com, Wave3.com, Fox32Chicago.com, HowiePolitics.com, like a whole page full.
On and on.
ChicagoSunTimes.com.
Look at
Apple
all the people who
News.com.
ripped the podcast itself on YouTube and like dropped
Yeah,
it.
did you notice that?
Is that? Can they do that?
What happened?
We don't mind.
Look at all these clips on here. These are everyone who's like ripped it
Good.
and like.
That's
dropped
good for us, man.
LOCPOD. They stole LOCPOD and put
What
it
would
on.
be
great,
good
though.
is if they shared our link and
The
our,
free
our
mic.
views.
We have to rely on the people that are going to see this because of all the publicity we made, and then they're going to
They're like,
subscribe.
I'm going to
'cause they're
listen to
like,
that.
I want to listen to
I
this.
gotta
They're all
See that
ready to
train
listen
wreck?
this morning.
Who is this pothead mayor?
That's right.
I want to listen to him. Oh,
They're-
and then I heard WMCD, and everybody's like alleging like I'm a cokehead and all this stuff. Now, of course,
There you go.
of course, you can't like.
It's a gateway drug, don't
of
you know
course,
that?
of course. So like, I do all these other drugs now too. It's like, get your freaking head out of your ass.
When's the last time you
seriously.
got Narcaned, Mayor Tom?
Dude, I've never done any other drug in my life. Honest, other than I guess if you count is alcohol. If
Sure.
you count that,
I think you
so
got to
like
count
that's
that.
just not the fact at all. Like the fact is, I'm brave enough to admit stuff that most politicians are petrified to admit, and I get no credit for that. Instead, I get a slew of other accusations about what I'm not telling you.
It's funny,
like, who tells you the truth? Like who told you that? Like seriously, do you think I'm the only politician that ever smoked weed in Chicago?
Well, I thought the funny thing was, a couple people said to me, "What is the big deal?" It would be a more funny headline.
It isn't. That's
right.
why.
Well, and
that's
the
why I
point,
had no
right.
problem
So
saying
I
it.
think there's both sides of that, right?
Right.
Some people are being assholes about it, and that's fine, and they're going to
Oh,
be because
he's
they're
a
haters.
pothead, or I
Right,
saw him like do
he's
this or that.
doing lines of coke, right?
Right. Yeah. Of course. Right.
And the other thing is, like
Like-
someone said, like, wouldn't a funny Onion headline have been, McDermott goes to the Grateful Dead concert and does not smoke pot? Right?
Well, that would have been my favorite quote that I came out with was, at least I'm cool enough to go to a Dead show. If Todd Young went to a Dead show, he'd be wearing a full suit.
I saw that. I like
It's true,
that.
too.
I like
He'd be
that.
like, I got my suit on, watching the Dead.
Hey, I think we have internet now.
Come on.
It's too late.
It's way too late. We're not going back and doing this.
No,
Right.
it's too
Right.
late.
Yeah, look at that. It's
All right,
loading.
good. We're
Because,
back.
I mean, the magic that we've already laid down, we can't go backwards.
Can't
No
do it
way.
again,
Right.
no.
Speaking of Todd Young,
So Comcast still sucks is
they
the
do.
title of the episode, right?
Comcast sucks.
We all
is the
agree
name
on
of the
that?
episode. Sure.
Right?
Speaking of Todd Young, you got a chance to see him. We saw him from a distance.
Yeah, we did. We went to. I was at the Notre Dame Navy game. Actually, John and Kevin were there. Sorry, Jill.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know,
Jill's like,
Notre
thanks.
Dame
Not
Navy game.
surprised.
Well, if you would have watched Pulp Fiction, we would have invited you.
Oh yeah, I can't be hanging with somebody. who
True,
doesn't
no
watch Pulp
way.
Fiction.
You can't go to the Notre Dame
Let's be
game
real.
if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction.
That's right. But we went there, and they did this one part. It was close to Veterans Day. Obviously, we're not even at Veterans Day yet, but it was the last game, home game before Veterans Day. So Notre Dame was doing a real big thing to honor the vets. We're
Which was
playing
awesome.
We're playing Navy, so like they're recognizing all the branches, including the Coast Guard,
Mm-hmm.
including the Space Force, which I've never seen before. So they had all the veterans in the audience stand up. So I got to stand
Yeah,
up,
we
and
got to
everybody
clap
in the
for
whole
ya.
section clapped for
That
him.
was nice,
But there was probably a few hundred people across the stadium standing up, right?
without a doubt.
So like Notre Dame has a big jumbotron, and they literally like just film students, and the students go crazy, and they film people in the audience, and you're like sitting there eating your like nachos or something, and you don't realize you're on the screen, right? Normal situation in the stadium, and I'm sitting there just watching it, between plays, and they clip on a dude that's sitting there, and I'm like, that's Todd Young, and I'm like, that guy looks just like Todd Young. I'm like, that is Todd Young, and I'm like, Kevin, look at the board right now. Kevin looks up, he's like, holy crap, it's Todd Young, right?
Good seats, by the
But
way.
they didn't introduce him.
No, they did not.
That was just.
I think it was
clip.
random.
It was totally random.
It was while they were doing the. It was while they were doing the.
Was it the kiss cam?
commemoration.
It was not the
no,
kiss
not
cam.
the
He was
kiss
sitting
cam.
next to a state trooper. So
It was while they were doing the recognition of veterans, and
Right.
he was right by the Navy tunnel where the Navy players came out.
Which
And he
makes sense.
Went to Annapolis.
we went to Annapolis.
But they should not have announced him. I'm glad they didn't.
If he should have done the kiss cam with the state trooper,
Oh, that'd have been something.
that'd have been cute.
He did. Yeah, he looked, and then he left like before halftime.
By
I
the
was
way,
like,
like who goes to a game with state trooper?
I don't know.
I don't trust the peasants. Seriously, right?
here at Notre Dame, these Catholic kids,
Yeah, I got to put a state trooper with a gun next to me just in case the peasants like.
as if anybody even noticed them. I mean, except maybe.
We were the only two geeks in the whole
Maybe.
place that recognized
Yeah,
him.
who's Todd Young? You know what I mean?
Seriously, like he could walk through there without being recognized. Like
Agreed.
I walked through there and I recognized people because I went to school.
People went
there.
up to you.
Oh yeah, but like I went to school there, so
True.
like, and plus most people know I go to every home game, right?
Yeah.
for the most part, although I'm not going to Georgia Tech, which is weird.
Yeah,
I don't miss home games very
okay.
often. But anyway, so I was like, where is he? And then I could recognize where he was right off because he was next to a tunnel in the sunlight. We were in the shade, so I looked which tunnel's in the sunlight.
Luckily,
Bam.
I brought my binoculars, as
Which
I
is,
always do,
by the way, freaking Eagle Scout. I'm like, God, I think he's over there at that tunnel. Kevin's like, I got my binoculars here. And I'm like, what the I didn't even go there. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm going to use them because they come in handy.
Thank you.
I know. What else did he have? Like fishing line and a net and like
it was crazy. I look over and Kevin's got these binoculars. Like
they were good too. I pulled right in on Todd Young.
Yeah,
so I'm next to the troopers.
See, they came in handy. I got to give a shout out to my buddy Duff Kurger who reminded me to always bring binoculars to a Notre Dame game.
Yeah, you know what?
We always watch the
I'm
line
not going to
play,
give you shit.
the
but
offensive line play.
I told Marissa this story and she's like, "Who the hell brings binoculars to a football game?" I said, "I don't know."
A dad.
I'm giving him shit tomorrow on the podcast already. I mean, I didn't even say anything
Wasn't
to Kevin.
My best pair.
I was just like, okay.
Wait, you have more than one pair of binoculars?
Yeah, that was his Notre Dame Stadium pair, Joe. Like he has
his sports one.
I actually got that at
which seats are we in? The 100 or 200? Makes a difference to which power binocular I bring.
So it's a little nerdy, but I did get those at the
Blackhawks
Red Wings game at Wrigley Field. They gave them out. So
that's great.
It was a nice gift.
Man, that's nice.
Now I use them at Notre Dame games.
Yeah. Some people sneak in.
You didn't have a problem using them.
Some people sneak in like edibles. Kevin sneaks in binoculars. Hey, buddy, what are you doing with those binoculars there?
None of your business.
I'm going to watch the line play, sir.
Well,
the worst part is they believe him. They're like, he ain't doing nothing wrong.
But are you that guy that's got a telescope at your house?
I had an 8-ball hidden in the binocular case.
Cocaine.
Tom needs
suckers.
I got it in again.
You.
Right in my binocular
Dumbasses.
case.
They fall for the binocular nerd thing every time.
All right. Well, let's do
do you think,
ads.
honestly, because I was listening to a lot of feedback, and my haters are like convinced that I screwed my campaign up the other day. That I'm like a dumb shit, that I just get on the air and blurt things out.
You do, though.
I don't really. I mean, I'm pretty calculated, Joe, I'll be honest with you.
I mean, this is what I would say, Tom.
No, seriously. How often do I step on it? I'm in the public eye all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to step on it every once in a blue moon, but in this issue, I don't think you did because it wasn't
What's the last time I stepped on it?
Probably that
well,
fart
wait,
in
we used to have
what's that?
Probably that fart in the
Fart
elevator.
in the elevator?
Yeah, maybe you had to apologize for that.
That was a good one.
That
was a good one, right? That was a good one, though.
We used to have an apology segment, remember?
I know. I haven't screwed up in a lot. What's the last screw up before that? Fart in the elevator, I'll give you that.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, there had to be one. But
like you can't even think of it.
Handy.
This is when chat would have been handy because they would have 20 recommendations on when I screwed up.
Yes, but I guess to answer your question, what I would say is when you said that you had partaken in smoking weed at a Grateful Dead show, that was just the tip of what we were talking about. You brought out the fact that you're a vote for legalization of marijuana. You're a vote for decriminalization of marijuana.
Yes.
And I think that is what the important part of that is. Is that Todd Young's not for that.
It's not the most important issue facing America.
No.
But I tell you what, I want to be part of the Green Caucus. I want to, if there's not a Green Caucus, I want to put one together and try to figure out how these different people like myself, Republican and Democrat, can get together and make sure that marijuana is decriminalized, make sure that marijuana is legalized, make sure that the businesses that deal in marijuana get to put their money in the bank. Simple things like that. Make sure that the companies can be publicly listed. Things like this. I think it's good for business. I think it's good for America. I think it's good that we stop arresting kids. Like 3 kids from Chicago Heights that made the mistake of purchasing something legally in one state and driving through another state like ours, and we arrest them and throw them in jail for it.
It could impact our future.
It will impact our future, right? I want to get rid of stuff like that. You're right. And by the way, what happens? So I went to a Dead show and I admitted it. What happens if I go to Colorado and I go skiing?
Well, be careful.
Why?
I mean, I don't think you want to be totally stoned on
I
the
agree
slopes.
with you
I'm
on
just
that.
saying.
I'm not going to get stoned and ski, but what happens if I get done skiing and I go to the bar and people are smoking like they do?
What's the difference between that and
Isn't
having a couple drinks?
Decriminalized in Colorado?
I'm not going there though, John, because I would. Yeah.
John's like, can I come?
But it's
you
legal.
can. I don't know if it's legal or not. I heard that it may be, but I tell you what, like I go to bars in other states and people are by the fire outside during ski season.
I was just going to say, what's the difference between that and having 3 drinks?
Boyne. I have a place in Boyne.
Sure.
Okay. You go by the fire at Boyne, there's always somebody smoking weed. Always. They're outside. It's legal. It's no big deal, right? Huh. And it's like, so what? I'm worried about how people back home will affect it. So if I'm in a state where it's legal, doing something that's legal, is that a big deal? Because I don't think it is.
I think you said it's like doing alcohol after prohibition, and I think that's the phase we're in as America. Like it's
we're like whoa,
okay,
it's still taboo.
Right. It's like the teetotalers and like the people that were pro-prohibition in the 30s probably were still trying to push like, I can't believe he's drinking now, even though it's legal.
Right. Especially for elected officials like myself.
Sure.
But like I would rather be authentic and tell you how I feel about this issue. It's not the most important issue facing America, I acknowledge, but it's an important issue to me, and I want to help resolve it. And I'm not a stupid robot that's going to lie to you like Todd Young, the guy I'm running against, like Mike Braun. They would never admit it. I guarantee you both of them have done it too. But they would never admit it. They would never tell you that it's a problem, that kids are getting arrested for having a plant in their car.
They'd probably say they've never been drunk.
Right, of course. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in some cultures, like when I went to China, I was there for 10 days. And an important part of doing business in China is getting drunk with them. It's an important part of it. Like literally, it like because they say they feel in their culture that it lets your guard down and it exposes the real you, which I agree. For good and for bad, when you're drinking,
so they get to know who
it exposes the real you. And if you're an asshole when you're drinking in China, that dooms you, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's do some ads.
Let's do some ads. Go ahead and start.
I want you to do the
I'm
premiere.
salty, man. I'm all like fired up right now. Because seriously, I'm glad I'm authentic, and I'm going to be authentic, 100% unapologetically Tom. And if you really think that a robot like Todd Young, a guy that like votes against everything is better, then vote for him, seriously, and I'll be fine, all right? But I think part of the reason as a country we're screwed up right now is because we have fake politicians like Todd Young in the U.S. Senate. People that don't care about
You don't know the real Todd Young.
No, you don't know the real Todd Young.
And he wants you just to vote for him.
Right. Just vote for me because I raise a lot of money. And I say good things about the president.
I look good in the suit.
Right.
I go to Notre Dame games for 1 quarter and then leave.
Yeah, with state troopers, just in case the peasants like want to talk to me and want to buy me something. I don't want peasants getting near me.
Don't ask me a question.
Tase that peasant.
Don't ask me a question about the infrastructure bill.
It's like a little kid watching Notre Dame. Get away from the senator. Who goes to a game with a state trooper?
I wonder if he
Todd freaking Young does. He goes to a football game with a state trooper. That is so lame, Todd. It's lame.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
Powering America, our premier sponsor this season, Season 4. Season 4 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America. With the explosive growth of renewable energy in America today, call Powering America to meet your needs for renewable energy in your home or office, including electric vehicle charges and solar-powered solutions. Trust the electrical professionals of Powering America. Visit poweringnorthwestindiana.org.
When I go to the next Grateful Dead show, I'm bringing like the police administration and having them surround me. Just like I want like 4 cops just surrounding me at all times. I want to see how the people treat me. They'll be like,
in case.
This dude is lame. They always say that about me, and I would never do that because I'm just a regular dude, and I like to mix with the regular people. I don't like to insulate myself with troopers all around me, like Senator Young.
You mean you like to hang out with voters?
I like people, actually. I really like people. And I like being, like when you go to the game and people run into you accidentally and they're wasted, you're like, ha ha, and they're like, ha ha, oh, go Irish, right? Todd Young wants none of that.
No.
Get away from me, peasant. I got the troopers with the tasers at the ready.
He wants to get to the South Bend airport and jet out to D.C.
You're like,
as quickly as possible.
Yeah, right? He wants the Jumbotron to flash on him, and then he's like, good, we could leave now. Let's go.
You know what? I bet you're right.
And the little kid accidentally bumps into him. Trooper, like, tases him. So get away from me, peasant. Like,
yeah. You got to see
not
Minneapolis friends.
I will never have a state trooper take me to a football game. I'm making that pledge right now. When I'm your U.S. Senator and I go to football games, I'm going to be out there like a regular dude.
Just have me with my binoculars next to you. That's not much protection.
Don't hold that against me.
That's not much protection.
Indiana, don't hold that against me with Kevin Smith and his geeky binoculars next to me. But they did come in handy when we were scouting Todd Young.
Thank you.
We wouldn't know about the trooper situation.
I appreciate that.
And by the way, who gave him the seats on like row one?
Well, you know what? I think could have been Navy seats. I bet.
Huh?
They were probably Navy seats.
I bet you're right.
Yep. And he's in Annapolis.
But how come if he's such a man of the people, such a Navy fan, and we admit that the Navy gave him those tickets, they probably did.
Sure.
It was right by their tunnel. Why doesn't he sit up there with all the rest of the Navy people?
Why didn't he
they
go
have
up
a
and visit
section.
him?
He didn't.
Maybe he did.
No,
Who
he
knows?
didn't.
Probably left.
Dude, he had the trooper with the taser. No way.
Yeah.
He's not going to go visit regular peasants.
It's a midshipman.
No way. No
All
way.
right.
Misprint. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and within budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom commercial on-demand printing and sign solutions you can count on. Rick Baltensberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations in Munster and in Hammond.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious taproom and outside patio. Brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, and corporate parties. They're conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years, and they're dedicated to assisting their clients with their systems integration needs. They have the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793.
I'm looking at chat because of our post, and Comcast is out like all over.
Yeah.
It's out all over the region, but it's out in Pennsylvania also.
And Frisco.
So like this is a
Comcast sucks.
Our major markets.
I love how you got to see chat even when we're not live.
Yes.
But like I don't ever read chat.
No, it's the opposite. When he's not live, he never reads it.
I never
Whenever
read
live,
chat
he never reads it.
because it throws me off my game.
Sure it does.
I don't want to be thrown off my game.
You just missed doing an ad.
It's all right. I heard what was going on. I was cool with it.
Chat on our pod post is blowing up.
Oh,
like,
good.
People are saying their whole day is ruined because we didn't go live.
We like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, LOCPODers.
Yeah, we appreciate you a lot. I appreciate. Edit that part out, would you?
Yeah.
See, that's all. John's got a busy day ahead editing this thing.
By the way, we don't ever edit shows
to make it perfect, John.
What do you do to edit shows? You like try
I'm sure people do.
Post-producing, I think
what
is a better
post-producing?
word.
What does that mean?
Well, we got to cut out the intro. We got to fade in, fade out. We got to balance the levels and then export it and then upload it. It's a
Wow.
bit of a process.
I call bullshit.
I feel like my level's low today,
Jill,
John.
I think
There's
it's
like a
all.
lot
wanna
of
hire?
technical
Yep.
terms
Have
that
you
he
been
thinks we don't know about, you know?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, right, job.
Last one here
I
before
love when you
mailbag.
guys minimize my role. That makes this train keep on the
Tom
tracks.
minimizes
man.
it. I appreciate you.
It's all right.
Tom's like, "Can you drop this immediately?"
Isn't it
Yes.
just pushing a button?
I'll press
John?
this big red button and it'll be there.
Thank you. That's all you have to do. Just push the buttons on. Grazoli's Concrete.
Stop trying to make it so tough, John.
Grazoli's Concrete was voted #1 in the Times Best of the Region in 2020 and in 2021. Grazoli's Concrete specializes in all of your concrete projects, and they have been using the original cement finish in the California style since 1972 and also offer stamped and colored concrete. For more information or a project quote, call Grazoli's Concrete at 219-659-4127.
Wow, I guess we're not live, so we're not doing the song. That could be the first time ever.
I like mixing it up a little bit.
That mixed it up. That could be the first ever.
Wow, these people's days
On to
are ruined
mailbag.
before.
Yeah, right? Everything's different.
There goes the...
When Comcast is out, I don't sing.
All right.
You know?
Good to know.
Mailbag.
John.
Mailbag.
Why do I always read mailbag? Why don't you read one?
Because they're always about
They're
you.
always, yeah, I think
I don't
they're...
care.
I like when... Because they're written to you.
I agree.
I'll read the one about our podcast. You read the one
Okay.
from Barry.
Tom won't sit with his trooper at a game, but he won't read his own mailbag.
Yeah, this is your mailbag.
He's
It's
like,
you're
whoa,
getting a
whoa,
letter.
whoa, whoa.
Was that off chat? Or is that you talking shit about me?
That's me. Like,
Him talking shit.
It's John.
Hell.
I'm not going to read my own mailbag, guys.
This is to you.
I just,
Yeah.
you know, all right.
It's like you getting a letter.
Do you want me to read one for you?
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay, read
absolutely.
the first one.
It doesn't
Okay.
have the same effect, in my opinion, but
We'll find
Well,
out.
let me try.
all right.
we will find
Pretend
out.
like you got this letter, John.
Okay,
I
this is
can't
from,
do it because, I don't have the script.
This is from
Oh, no shit.
Jim.
Well, I
B.
tried to email it to her in Comcast.
Here's the thing.
true.
Lies.
We brought on someone who's not in the Apple ecosystem, which
That's true.
might have been a mistake.
I know, that should have been on the job application.
Agreed.
Android or Apple?
Also, I didn't do an
That's it.
application.
Question one.
Check. Hey, we just needed somebody quick.
Yeah.
Warm body, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody that was actually willing to come on twice a week.
In the middle of the morning, early
Right.
morning.
Yeah.
This is from Jim. Dear Mr. Mayor, I would like to thank you for coming out about your trip.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dot, dot, dot.
Headline.
Hello.
Ellipses.
About your trip to
LOCPOD in the
Chicago
news.
and smoking while there. I have been saying for a couple years now, the same as alcohol used to be on Sunday, us Indiana people.
I
There's a bit of a
often
run on
edit
there.
on. I edit on the run.
Right on the fly.
Edit on the fly.
Well, you're in the
dude.
biz.
I do.
so
I do. That's you don't
True,
even
John.
notice I do that, but I do. I edit on the fly.
I already planned to vote as soon as I seen you were running. I promise you will get a lot of votes
Bam!
from my family and friends.
A family of pro marijuana supporters.
Yeah.
Nice.
He says he has PTSD and has to ride with an illegal substance in Indiana, but 20 miles from me either way, it's okay.
It's an
Riding
imaginary
dirty.
line.
Riding
Says-
dirty in Indiana.
How messed up is that?
It is messed up.
Wow. And then he goes
He
on.
sounds like a veteran, right? PTSD.
He does.
Right. So he's a veteran. He's a cannabis user.
And he's mentioned that he's seen many people drink themselves
Right.
to death.
I agree. Kevin and I have a dear friend that we just lost within the last year
Yep.
who drank himself to death, right?
Yes, we did,
Mm-hmm.
which was sad.
This guy says he has lost 43 friends. That's a lot of people.
And a brother to heroin. So there you go.
I don't even have 43 friends.
You know, I was talking to a friend from California the other day that was telling me about a law that they recently passed out there. You know, a lot of people diss on California, but like I think this law is amazing, and it's off the script, by the way. I'm just bringing this up. Is a Die with Dignity Act. Have you heard about that?
No.
I know somebody that's actually doing it, and I'm not going to get into details.
Sure.
Okay. This person made the decision. They have a terminal disease. They made the decision that it's not going to get better, and instead of facing a long time of radiation, you know, a fight
Medical
that
costs.
this person doesn't want to do, they made the decision to basically get through the holidays and die with dignity.
Wow. So
And
it's
it's
like
legal.
assisted suicide?
You have to go through, like, it's not physician assisted. You do it on your own. But what you do is you go to like 2 different doctors, and they both have to sign off on it. And then they could literally prescribe the medicine that kills you. And then you just
Wow.
take it on the day you want to die. And it's legal.
That is interesting.
It's crazy, and it's sad because I know this person, obviously, and it's very sad. And it's like shocking. And usually you never see people that are like, hey, I'm not going to go through this. It's going to be hell. You know, this person's got...
A lot of times people
A
end up
disease
killing,
that-
they shoot themselves in the head or something, or
Right.
they, you hear that happen.
Isn't
which
that
is
crazy?
Terrible.
But anyway, I heard that story the other day, and it devastated me because this person's a great person. I'm not getting into details.
Sure.
I'm not even going close. I just thought it was interesting that California legalized that.
Die with Dignity Act.
Right.
I need
They
to
must
look
have passed
into
it by referendum. I didn't even hear about this.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about that?
No.
What's your thought on it? Like, let's say you have terminal cancer, and there's just 2 different doctors. All the doctors are telling you have no chance of survival. It could, but the thing that got me about this person is if the chemo goes well, they had 10 years. If it goes well, if it doesn't, they die pretty soon. And the only way to find that out is to actually get into chemo and undergo like the hair loss and the sickness and the radiation treatments. And they just didn't want to do it. And they're like, not going to do it.
Personal choice, for sure. I mean, I think in that situation, I wonder. I mean, I guess you have to be in the situation to make the decision. It's tough. It's a tough one.
I think it's great. I mean, it's a horrible tragedy when you have to make that decision. But like, I've seen like my grandma. She had a little nest egg, and this is back when I was 16. Okay, my grandma. Let's say she had $100,000 in the bank. I don't even know if she did, but whatever she had in the bank, it was taken from her in the last 2 weeks of life with hospital stays, and you have to like basically give up your life savings. And they end up like amputating my grandma's legs, and they did all this shit to her at the end of her life that didn't even matter. At the end of the day, she died within weeks.
they
And
could
I get to
bill.
remember my grandma going out with no leg and high as a kite. She didn't even know her grandson, and I was like her kid, honestly.
Yeah.
My grandma and I were tight when I was a kid, and like that's my memory. And basically, the doctors, in my opinion, stole all my grandma's money and basically cut off her legs to try to keep her alive. And she lived for 2 more weeks. And it's like, I would rather my grandma kept her legs and died with dignity, personally.
And had a family discussion about it. I'm sure, right? I'm sure this person had a discussion with their family. This is what I want to do.
This
Not-
person had a
Yeah,
discussion
so-
with their family.
Yeah, and so it's important, I think, to do that. And like when your grandma's situation, you hear about that. As an attorney, I hear about that all the time. We just had to spend a gazillion
Right.
dollars the last month
Right.
of my
Right.
mom, dad's,
Right.
grandma's
Right.
life.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean,
So you like work your whole life to save up a nest egg, and then the doctors and the hospitals and the healthcare system steals it from you, and you can't even pass on that wealth to generations that you've been hoping maybe, grandma wanted to give her grandkids the money, or her mom, my single mother, the money. Instead, the freaking doctors and the hospitals took it, and
Yeah, I mean,
my
it's
grandma lost her legs and died 2 weeks later.
That's a story that I think is repeated again and again in America, and that's a number. It talks about the issues we have with the American healthcare system, and it also talks about the issues we have at end of life. And
Joe, what do you think? Die with dignity.
I mean, I think you should be able to have some kind of control over how you're going out.
yeah,
If
you
I'm
can-
not saying like, I got asthma, I'm sick of dealing with it. I'm talking like terminal cancer,
well, like you said, it has to be signed off on by multiple doctors.
right. But like, I imagine you go to enough doctors and but they make you do like counseling and stuff like that. They
I
make
mean,
you go
that's-
through
that's
like
good.
hoops. John, what do you think?
My gut instinct is with you, Tom. I think, wow, I got to look more into that. That is
I
something.
think
Because
it's
you've
already
heard about it in
illegal
other
a couple of
countries.
Yes,
European,
for sure, John.
Yeah.
countries.
Yeah, well, interesting. All right.
I don't ever want to think about that, in my family or with me. But like, I'll be honest with you, like money and generational wealth means too much to me than to waste at the end of my life. Like not necessarily prolonging, my life for another 6 months. And I'm going to be sick, and I'm not, I'll never forget. Honestly,
quality of life.
I was 16 years old. I'll never forget seeing my grandma on morphine with no leg. I'll just never forget it. It was the way I remember her, which is unfortunate because she was like a second mom to me my whole life.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that a lot of people like to diss on California and talk about how dysfunctional it is, but they do a lot of things great too. And I tell you what, I think it's a great law, and I think it should be nationalized personally. If you want to die with dignity, why not? You're an adult. If you go through certain, prerequisites and it's signed off on, you should be able to set your own date of death if you're going to die anyway.
I think you're right that, I don't know if it was Jill or I think all three of you said, like in Europe, I think it's very common. And I think,
but in America, there was a U.S. Supreme Court case on this, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember that.
It was
right.
I think it was more on physician-assisted suicide, though.
Kevorkian, remember?
Right,
Dr.
right.
Kevorkian
He went to jail for it, criminally. But what I'm saying is, they just prescribe the medicine to you, and you basically kill yourself on your own. You don't do it with a doctor present. You just take the medicine and go to sleep.
Wow,
crazy, right? It's so sad. Though.
This
This person is a wonderful person. I'm not sure if they listen to LOCPOD or not. I just want to say, if they are listening, we love you, and I'm really sorry about all this. And I'm glad California has something like that, because if you're going to pass, you want to go out with dignity.
Can you go to? Do you have to live in California, or can you just go there?
Good question.
I bet you could go there, John.
Wow.
And see a doctor. Like
Yeah.
if you live in Nevada and you drive over and you visit with a doctor, and
Yeah, I mean, it might be illegal in the state you come back to. This sounds like
Sort
another
of
topic
like-
we
sort of
had.
like-
Wow,
yeah.
what do you know?
what are you doing with these
Suicide
death
drugs.
Yeah, right. Right. We're going to arrest you and throw you in jail for it.
Right.
Are we going to go back to mailbag?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure. This is from Barry E. If you want to win the Senate race, talk about the environment and what you can do as a U.S. Senator. The U.S. states and cities are the largest buyers of vehicles, much like the Jeep. The U.S. government, in cooperation with the states, NASA, and automakers, can make an open bid for the automakers to manufacture a plug-in electric vehicle with a backup gas-powered electric generator to fully operate the vehicle and recharge the battery when the battery goes dead. There are no electric recharging stations nationwide, but there are gas stations. Over the next 10 years, we as a nation, with the government leading the way, we can reduce both oil consumption and auto emissions. Without a battery charging infrastructure, you plug in your car to charge, drive 180 miles to and from work, come home and put your car on charge. You drive 380 miles across the state and the battery goes dead. Then the gas power generator kicks in to operate the car and recharge the battery. That's from Barry E.
Couple funny things about that. It kind of describes as if we don't know what an electric car does, which I
Right.
thought was kind of
I'm
funny.
just reading
but
it. I'm just
no, I
reading
thought
it.
it was funny, but I think his point is an interesting one. John, we were all talking on the way back from the Notre Dame game about
I
the fact
wasn't.
that you were not.
We were thinking about you, Doug.
No, you
About
weren't.
how we were on
No,
the
we
verge
weren't.
of each of us thinking about buying an electric car next time around. And
Yeah.
I'm seriously thinking about it because I think the proliferation of charging stations is going to start. It's going to have to.
Well, it's going to start because in the infrastructure bill just passed, there's billions of dollars
Good
set
point.
aside to increase the electric charge stations across America. So that if you do buy an electric car, you have more options than just, I got to drive to the Myers 10 miles away from
Yeah.
here because that's the only charging station close to us. There should be plenty of charging stations everywhere. So that we're not driving to the local Myers.
And that
just
they're
to-
fast.
Yeah.
They're fast. John,
Right.
I mean, as a previous owner of an electric car, what's your
And your wife
take
owns
on
an
it?
electric car also, right, John?
Yeah. I was early to it, and
You're the only Republican Trump supporter that drives an electric car, I guarantee you.
probably.
It's like a contradiction.
Congratulations.
You're like a walking contradiction.
I
dude.
didn't get it for environmental reasons. I just really liked it. I mean, you guys know when you think about a Tesla, the instant torque, the design. It's just a beautiful car. But I gotta wonder, like, when you build a gas station, the government's not building it, right?
No,
Why,
it's
why
private.
are we built? Do you guys think the government should be building?
I bet you eventually they privatize, John.
They have to, right?
Right. But we start off as the government owning it, and then we eventually turn it over to people, and they buy it from the government and probably make it like a local.
And it'll be taxed, or
Right.
somehow
Yeah.
it'll be taxed.
I think they're just starting. We need to lead with the infrastructure because if we leave it to the private sector, it's going to be slower than if we do it ourselves as a country, and then they probably turn around and privatize it. I would hope.
Yeah, because remember,
That's a good
right,
point, though, John. Like we're
Yeah.
going to have government-run charging stations giving away free electricity.
Doesn't
Yeah,
make-
how does
no,
this
of course
work
it'll
in the
be
long
taxed.
run?
I mean, I
Yeah.
think right initially the idea is how do we get out of this reliance on carbon emissions, fossil fuels,
Yeah.
all this stuff, right? So how do we do that? I think the government has to give a push or an incentive like they did in some instances, not in Indiana, but in some instances like with the federal credit originally with electric cars. And now they're going to put a lot of charging stations out. But you're right. At some point it becomes privatized, right?
My dad and I go back and forth about electric and gas powered a lot. He used to work at Ford. He hates electric vehicle, like alternative energy is just not his thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Elon Musk bangs on this drum a lot. When people talk about why Tesla gets tax incentives and stuff, he says, "Do you know how many incentives oil companies get?"
Wow, good point.
It's a very good point. So you either stop it altogether or you kind of share that pie a little bit. So
I think he's right on that.
Well, he is, yeah.
All right, last mailbag, and this one was a really funny one. Thank you, Lindsay, for finding this. Lindsay got an email, and this made mailbag. Left of Center Show is ranking very well in Ghana.
Whoa.
Hello, how's it going? Hope all is well.
What is it with these strange fans that we have in weird parts of the world, like Ghana and
This
Belgium?
feels like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I think so.
Really? You think so?
I have some cool information that might interest you.
Who uses cool in a...
I agree.
They're like, use
Someone
the word
from
cool.
a different country.
Right.
Your podcast, Left of Center Show, has good performance in Apple Podcast rankings.
Very cool,
Last
man.
30 days. Position 127 in Ghana.
Whoa.
That's huge.
Hey, that's
Moving
part
up
of
the charts.
Okay, I'm writing it down. This is part of our new intro.
120. We are position 127 in Ghana. And then it says, this data is provided by podstatus.com. Happy podcasting from Carlos at Podstatus. I checked out that website.
Carlos?
Yes, Carlos at
Ghana?
Podstatus.
Let me guess, Podstatus wants you to sign up
You
for
got
something.
it.
Yeah.
You got it. You sign up and they tell you where your rankings are throughout the world.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
All right. Morning, everybody. Welcome to LOCPOD. We're your relief from crappy radio. We are huge in Belgium and number 127th in Ghana. Right?
If that
That's
doesn't
a new
make you
intro?
keep listening,
Right. I mean, you're listening to something big time.
Yeah.
That's what it tells
127 in Ghana.
127 in what category?
Politics.
you. Yes.
Okay, so think
not
about how
even-
bad that is.
Out of how many?
Well, I mean,
128.
128.
Yeah, 128.
There are 126 other political podcasts in Ghana.
that
Dead
are
last. Okay, how about this? Your relief from crappy radio. We are top rated in Belgium and we are dead last in Ghana. Right? You like that one?
So take your choice.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Ghana.
they don't have Comcast there, so they can
That's
listen
true.
to it.
Well, Ghana's always to the right. You know, I can see why they wouldn't like our left of center show. They're more right
Are they? Yeah,
right
I
of
gotta
center.
look into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
All right,
have
let's
a-
do some ads and then roll through a couple other things and we'll get the hell out of here. 'cause
Yeah.
I got a busy day.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But let's go ahead. Midwest Air Duct Cleaning. At Midwest Air Duct Cleaning, your health is our number one priority. We are dedicated to providing top-notch quality services at an affordable price. Our technicians have been trained to shelter the members of your household from potential airborne contaminants. If you'd like more information on how to protect the lungs of your home, call Marinko and his team at 219-671-8868 today.
Calumet Brewery wants to tell you about Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, all while being one of the fastest growing brands in the region. Or try Ultra Pure Gold, an organic light lager with only 2.5 carbs and 85 calories, brewed for your healthy lifestyle. Enter to win a Michelob Ultra golf bag through calbrew.com. Check out Calumet Brewery's Facebook page for details.
They got to update their ad.
Not golf season anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
They should be like
Enter to
Michelob
win
Ultra
a-
sled,
Or snow shovel.
snow shovel,
Yes.
snow blower,
Rake.
snow blower.
Snow blower.
There you go.
Cal
Michelob
Brew. Yes.
Enter to win a Michelob Ultra snow blower.
We're
Okay.
just telling them what they're giving away?
Yeah, yeah. Let's go.
Steve, can you get on this?
Everybody wants a snow blower this time of year. They don't want a golf bag anymore. Right?
Steve, I hope you're listening.
You can tell.
I need a new snowblower.
Yeah. Wouldn't
Yeah,
that be
maybe you
screwed
get
up?
a
If Johnny
Michelob
Mc-
Ultra one.
Michelob Ultra snow blower.
Yeah.
They should branch out into snow
Shoots out
blowers.
cans of beer.
Why not?
If they do, I say we own part of that segment
I'm
of
in.
business.
Mi-
All right.
Michelob?
Michelob Ultra snow blowers. If that becomes huge, it's because of us.
Do you see him at Home Depot?
Can you imagine?
I want a
absurd.
Budweiser one.
They're
Yeah.
like, Michelob was doing well, and then one day everything changed.
And they got in the snowblower business.
Right.
You want like a Maker's Mark snowblower?
Sure. Might want one of those.
Challenger Learning Center. The holiday season is here. Was that funny?
He's just thinking
Michelob
about the
Ultra
snowblower.
Okay.
If we didn't already have a title, that would have been
That'd
it.
been it.
Our title is Comcast Sucks. Right?
Yep, it is.
The holiday season is here. Did you know that?
No.
And Challenger Learning Center invites families to celebrate the season with a show full of classic holiday hits, all set to laser lights, all aglow. The Holiday Laser Light Show will take place on Friday, December 17th at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. That's right. Friday, December 17th. That's 1 week before the day before. It's 8 days before Christmas. Yeah. And this
On
is
the
big
8th
time.
day of Christmas.
This is a big time
Love
show.
gave to me.
That's
The
one
Holiday
week.
Laser Show takes place on Friday, December 17th, 4 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Leaping ladies.
Alcohol, optional. Like, you got to sneak it
7.
in. I wonder if alcohol is optional.
Swans of swimming.
Tickets are $12 and must be purchased in advance.
6.
To purchase these
Lane.
tickets, visit clcnwi.com.
5.
That's
Golden.
clcnwi.com, or connect on social media at Challenger NWI on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Wait till we get closer to Christmas.
We should go not live more often.
Tortillas Nuevo, we're cracking ourselves up. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Oh, shit.
Tortillas Nuevo
There it
Leon.
is.
Tortillas
You
Nuevo
don't sing
León,
that non-live.
hechas con amor, para ti, tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti, tu familia de todo corazón.
Good yeehaw. Solid.
Eli's good, isn't he?
He's great.
Eli, that's a solid song.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the Tri-Electronics jingle.
I think I know all the words now.
Well, you have Spanish in your
Tortillas
background.
Nuevo Leon, eso, blah, Tortilla to
I didn't know the blah, blah, blah. Wait, what was that? The blah, blah, blah.
What does that translate
Tortillas
to?
Nuevo Leon, eso, blah, Tortilla to familia. Yeah!
You got that
De
right.
todos, I'm getting there.
I don't know if you're.
That's
I don't know if your
exactly
Spanish
it.
tutor
It was
would have
close.
approved of that.
They would have gotten the gist.
Maybe like a
Dude, when you
B
go to a
minus.
concert, you think they're actually saying the words.
No.
Half the time they're just like
It's recorded. Of
Who's
course
they?
they are.
the artists that are
Yes,
singing. A
I
lot
do
of times
think
they
they're
just
saying the
mumble.
words.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they
Eli
don't.
sings the words.
Eli sings the words, but I'm like repeating his performance. Hey, by the way, did you see the infrastructure bill passed?
I did. We were at the. I think you mentioned it at the Notre Dame game. The president signed it into law, which
thought
was interesting.
That's a big win for the country, in my
Sure
opinion.
is.
A big win. And I think it's disgusting that the Republicans, by and large, I mean, outside of a few crossovers like Mitt Romney and people like that, the Republicans, by and large, including both of our very own senators and all of our congressional members outside of Congressman Andre Carson and Congressman Frank Mervan, every other representative we said to the Washington, D.C. voted against bringing back money to Indiana.
Yeah, interesting, right? I mean, not only did they vote against it, they came out and kind of voted
$8.8 billion for the
voted
state
hard,
of
said some crappy things about it even. And by the way, I don't want to be unfair to those Republicans that did cross over. There were 13 Republicans that voted for it in the House and 19 senators that voted for it in the Senate.
Because our Senator Todd Young, the guy I'm going
Not
to beat,
Todd Young.
the guy I'm going to beat next year, he was part of the authors. He was a co-author on his bill, and he was with it until what? Until Donald Trump threatened him with a primary challenger.
Yeah, it was over the summer because it passed the Senate in August.
Right.
And then he dropped.
And he dropped
support.
before he dropped his support, threatened this bill, threatened it's whether or not it's going to make it, because Todd Young's, he's an important person in the U.S. Senate. And when he bailed on it, it just made it a little bit more wobbly. And we're going to bring close to $9 billion back to Indiana to help.
Think about that. He voted against $9 billion.
It's
coming back to
it's
his
the
home
biggest
state.
investment in Indiana's history. And he voted against it, and so did Mike Braun, and so did every other representative we send to Washington, D.C.
Yet the Indiana Chamber of Commerce, which is generally thought of as a
Right-wing.
conservative, not
Yeah.
maybe not right wing, conservative organization. Right?
I agree. I took
And-
when I was endorsed by the U.S. Chamber by the Indiana Chamber of Commerce when I ran for Congress, it was viewed as a negative in my party.
Isn't that right? It's crazy.
Because they're like, oh, of course, the Chamber of Commerce endorsed McDermott. What I was super proud of. I'm a Democrat, and I'm getting endorsed by the Chamber of Commerce. That means I'm pro-business, which I am.
Yeah.
I like to run things like a business, and so the Chamber of Commerce endorses a Democrat. I got beat up. In this case, Chamber of Commerce came out in support of Frank Mervan and Andre Carson for voting for a bill that brings $9 billion to Indiana. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kevin.
Actually, no, not at all. I was actually just checking my note because Kevin Brinegar, who actually helped endorse you, or he didn't.
He interviewed me.
Yeah,
and,
he did.
and they ended up endorsing me.
They actually thanked Carson and Mervan.
Yeah.
So that tells you
Right.
that they know who voted for it.
That's right.
And that's a pro-business organization.
Yeah.
And you know who else I thought was interesting is the unions praised it
course.
as a once-in-a-generation investment.
It's the biggest investment in Indiana's history.
And I think Mike Schmuel said it right. Our Democratic chairman said, unfortunately, Indiana Republicans always choose extreme partisanship when it matters most over creating a better future for Hoosier families.
That's right.
Every county Tom, in Indiana, all 92 counties are going to get money to help repair bridges and infrastructure.
And Todd Young is such a cheesy politician that he will show up to the ribbon cuttings. He will show up and act like he was part of it, and he voted against it. And I'm going to remind you, like, he's not invited to any of the stuff we're having here in the region. And if he is, I'm going to make a mockery of him. I'm going to make sure there's protests pointing out that he's a fraud, that he voted against the biggest investment in Indiana's infrastructure in history, and he could have helped bring that money home. Who knows? He could have brought even more home had he'd been a supporter. Instead, he was trying to kill it. And I tell you, when I'm elected U.S. Senator, I'm going to make a pledge right now, and I want you to tape this. It's being taped. I will work with the President of the United States. Okay? And right now the president's Joe Biden, but I'm going to be there for 6 years. So if the president's not Joe Biden and I'm a U.S. Senator, I'm going to work with the President of the United States. Whoever that person is elected by the people, I'm going to work with that person. Another thing I'm going to do, I promise, I'm going to work for Indiana, Republican and Democratic areas. I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to show up in their areas regularly, and I'm going to bring the money home when I can. If I have a chance to bring billions of dollars back to Indiana, I'm not going to, because of political reasons, try to kill it. That's what's wrong with America. Todd Young is what's wrong with America. Mike Braun and the 7 other Indiana representatives are what's wrong with America.
And you see it, all you have to do is go not too far from here to see the clown that was elected in the 2nd Congressional District, Jackie Walorski, who you've debated in the past, just to show what a clown she is. And she called it this is a quote, a socialist tax and spend scheme that's about securing more control over Americans from cradle to the grave. Now, if that's not a partisan comment about a plan that, by the way, does not impose any new tax to pay for it and is paid for previously appropriated but unspent COVID-19 relief funds and unemployment payments passed under Trump, along with the sale of federal assets and renewing some fees that were set to expire. So there's no tax.
Right.
And she's making it sound like
it's money
this is a tax and spend scheme.
It was $500 billion in new taxes.
Right.
I mean,
not even new
spending,
taxes, new spending.
Right.
But it's all paid for. It's all paid for. So, and if the new spending, I think, adds $26 billion to the deficit over 10 years. Not by a tax. So get off it, Jackie Walorski. Stop pretending, because all you're doing is being partisan, and it's crazy. You're denying $7 billion just in road and bridge funds to every county in Indiana.
I want to make a prediction.
With your no vote.
I'm going to make a prediction. You guys ready?
She's a clown.
Well, okay. Jackie Walorski,
yeah.
Representative, U.S. Congresswoman. You don't like her?
It's ridiculous.
You don't like her?
No, I've seen her in person. She's terrible.
Okay. You all right?
What's the prediction? Yeah, it just aggravates me.
I know.
People like her aggravate me. It's just so aggravating.
I don't think Kevin's called anyone a clown before.
She is a clown.
Is there any Steely Dan playing right now?
Yeah, right. Learn to work.
He's about to punch somebody.
Oh,
my prediction is that Build Back Better plan is going to get voted down in the Senate.
I think it's going to get watered down if it gets voted up. If it gets voted up, it'll be extremely watered down.
I wouldn't be surprised if within the next week or two, Joe Manchin switched parties.
I don't think he's going to switch parties.
Is that the social?
Okay. We got it on tape, right?
Yeah.
I'm making a prediction. Either Joe Manchin switches parties or he votes against this bill and kills it, in which case he'll want to switch parties because the progressive left will come after him hard, and harder than they already have if he kills this bill.
But I don't think the progressive left in West Virginia could beat him.
Do you think that the bill is going to pass? Build Back Better?
Not as it currently sits. And just so
it's currently watered down. I'm using because they started at 3.5.
It's 1.7.
Actually, they started at 5+,
yep.
And then it went to 3.5. Now it's at 1.75. You still think it's going to pass in 2 weeks?
Well, it's going to go through the House, I think. Okay, right, and then it's going to go to the Senate. And just remember, there's 2 facets to it. So I'm wondering.
I thought it already went through the House.
No, they agreed to have it. No, they agreed to have it heard the week of the 15th.
I thought it already went through the House and the Senate was hearing it then.
No, so on Saturday, from what I read, Tom, it made it over a procedural hurdle to let it be heard on the floor on the 15th. So the week of the 15th, it's going to be heard in the House. The thing I'm interested in, and I think this is something you've brought up, Tom, in the past, about let's just hear things on topics one at a time, right? So Build Back Better has 2 facets to it. The social safety net part, which I agree with you is going to get watered down, and the climate part. Mm-hmm. The climate part, I think they should do separate.
Yeah, I agree.
And
By the way, agree.
Yeah.
I think there's Republicans that agree that climate change is taking place, and maybe we could have that debate. I agree. It's annoying that they throw all this into one bill.
I saw in the news yesterday that Senator Coons, I think Connecticut or Delaware, I forget, but anyway, yeah, okay, he was in.
I think
he was in Scotland Jill,
Hey.
in Glasgow with Senator Murkowski.
See?
Right, we're
Right.
on a to show at the climate forum to show
Right.
European leaders that there's a bipartisan push.
Good.
And I love that.
Then break it out. Like you
Break
said.
it out.
Right.
Break it out.
I think Build Back Better is going down in flames. I think that Joe Manchin is not going to vote for it, and I think he's going to come under tremendous pressure. That's my prediction, and he possibly switches parties in the next 2 weeks.
I'm going to go no on switching
I mean,
parties. Hope he
dude,
doesn't,
I should
but-
get huge. Like if this was a bet, I'd be getting like if I bet 100, I'd probably get 5,000 back if I was right. Because this is what I'm saying is like way out there. Do we all agree if this happens? Though I'm pretty, that's pretty.
We'll
That
give you
is huge
kudos.
for
You're the
Prescient.
we'll say
Prescience is the
you're the
word.
locomotive.
Yeah,
Prescient. Yeah,
that's
maybe.
why prescient.
So
prescient.
prescient,
Prescient?
prescient,
Prescient. Whatever.
prescient. All right. The point is that, and this is something else I wanted to just remind you.
Yeah.
When the infrastructure bill went in August, it didn't come to the House until November, so it's not going to be 2 weeks. It'll be a while.
Okay.
All right. So we'll watch it though.
And we got one more topic we want to hit before we close out.
Oh yeah, do it.
Astroworld, the festival, the Travis Scott show. Obviously, you guys saw the videos from that,
Yeah, terrible.
right? And Jill, you're special events coordinator for the city. I mean, that had to hit home for you especially hard, right?
I mean, that's one of the major things we always look at, not only with our events, but when we have people that want to rent. I mean, renters generally don't think about things like this.
Agree. In fact, like we used to be a lot more because Jill's in charge of a venue that you could hold on a good day 18,000 people if it's packed, and 15,000.
Yeah, I was just thinking. Yeah, you're right. You're in the ballpark for sure.
So, like, if we just rent it to any Joe Blow and they have a horrible experience, let's say they bring Travis Scott and there's a bunch of people that get crushed to death in our venue is toast. Nobody's ever going to go to a show there again. And in our case, if we rent it to somebody that's just an idiot and they don't think about things like this, not only are we getting sued, but they're getting sued. But we're got the deep pockets, and our venue will have a stain on it forever.
Well, one of the things I thought was interesting on this that I saw early on when John shared this video with us over the weekend was people busting through security.
Yeah, I shared that on social media.
Now, if that happened...
You don't look at my stuff.
I did. Well, John sent it to me, so I looked at it there. But
He got it off of my Facebook.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
John, you're a copycat?
Right, John?
No.
Okay, I'm going to look at time on this.
But what's your feeling about that? I mean, like if that
I would
happened at a
cancel the
venue
show
here-
right there. I would have canceled the show.
I
right
agree
there.
with you.
If we had a breach in security, because those people that got through could have had knives, guns. Like that's the worst case. You got to like literally once you get control of the gates, you got to go to everybody in the venue and say everybody leave and come back in. Everybody
call.
get out, and then
So in
we're
other
going
words,
to
that's the only way you don't cancel the show.
Right. The
I
only
agree
way
with you.
you have to tell everybody, I'm sorry, we had a breakdown and we don't know if everything is safe. We have to have everybody leave and then go back through the metal detectors.
You know what? I didn't think about that. That's
That's the
smart.
only thing you could have done. It was daylight still. They could have done it.
You're all over it. That's
right?
true.
Like they had a breakdown right off the bat. So like they had thousands. I mean, I probably watched on the one video I posted, I don't know, 600 or 700 people break in. Dude, they could have had anything on them. They could have knives, guns. Like they probably didn't because they were expecting to go through metal detectors anyway.
But you never know.
And that was the VIP section.
You don't know.
They broke into the VIP section also, Kev.
Which
right?
is like the pit, right? Right in front.
So like the people that are paying big bucks and want to get close, now all of a sudden they have these people that weren't screened.
They
they're
trashed the metal detectors.
Oh man, I tell you, I would have canceled the show before that even happened. They lost control. Like I tell you, we do a lot of planning, right, Joe?
Yeah. I mean, a year we started.
We're planning already.
Time, yeah.
We we're planning already.
Yeah.
And security
For
is always
July.
when I'm in a concert at the venue, I sit at the same place every show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a number of people get pulled out of the pit. And we're like all over it. That's primarily what I'm looking for is people that aren't having a good time anymore and they can't get out of the situation. You see it at the fest. We see it.
They get sick.
They get sick.
Right,
they pass out.
They-
My dad passed out
and
last
not
year.
from being crushed, by the way. Just like
My
some
dad
people
passed
have,
out in the pit.
medical issues.
And we
sometimes.
and we went out. We had to go during the show. The show's going on, and we have literally like a stretcher in the pit, putting people on it and wheeling them out with Hammond firefighters that are stationed at the event. Like this is a big part of why we do so much homework, so that we don't have a tragedy.
Yeah, but to do that, you have to make sure that there's room and people have to be able to maneuver. Security services have to be able to maneuver. We have sworn police officers as security. We have firefighters that are there as our EMTs. I mean, these are professionals, but they have to be able to move through the crowd.
Yeah.
So that's always something we look at.
It's a tragedy, and I tell you, Travis Scott, he's being sued because he was encouraging a riot, and he's already had a history of inciting riots. It shows. He did it at Lollapalooza 2015, told people to jump over the security walls, and they did, and then he got arrested and charged with inciting a riot from a stage. And he did the other day too. I'm telling you, people died because of him. Like, I would go out there, first off, if I knew that people were dying in the crowd, I, as mayor, would have walked on stage and said, listen, you got to have an interruption at least, right? Maybe not cancel the show, but just say, hey, Travis, I need you to go backstage, take a break. We got a situation in the crowd. I'd be on the microphone saying, everybody needs to take a step back. Everybody move back. Like, that's where you need, like, the non-artists talking on the microphone.
The mature adult.
And if Travis doesn't want to perform the rest of the show, then that's part of the risk of doing that. But, like, if people are dying in the audience, you got to stop everything.
All you had to do was watch the helicopter footage of the wave of humans. I mean, you see it when right? I mean, you saw it's kind of amazing. It's like it must be some sort of like, you know, I don't know, some physics professor would have to tell me, but literally
everybody starts falling.
You have no control over what's happening next to you. I mean, you're just part of a wave.
I've been in pits
You're
like
part
that.
of a wave.
I've been in pits like that for sure. When I was a kid, I used to go in the pit all the time. And I've been to concerts when I was a kid where people died. I was at the Ozzy Osbourne concert the day before. 2 kids died at the same show I went to the day after.
Being in a crowd like that when you're under significant pressure, or at least just like where you know that you're at the will of the crowd. I think the last time you and I were in that was probably Obama inauguration, where like you were trying to get in and you had no ability really you were just kind of with the crowd.
Yeah. And it's almost better in a situation like that as to let your feet off the ground and just flow with it, because everybody's packed so tight together.
About that.
It's almost better to not put your feet on the ground and just sort of flow. Like, have you ever done that? Like,
No.
you could literally, everybody's so packed together that you don't even have to support your weight, and you just sort of like flow with everybody, but you can't be like heavy footed, or because if you trip,
you go down.
Yeah,
you're done.
You can't.
That's what a doctor said, actually. Just don't try and fight the flow. Just go with it.
Exactly.
And he also said put your arms up in front of your chest to
That's
give
what
that's what I was just doing.
Tom just
You're
did
literally
that.
like that.
to give yourself your rib cage room to breathe.
That's so funny you say that. I was
Those
just
are good
doing
safety
that.
tips.
But I've been in a pit. Like, I used to go in the pit all the time. My goal every concert I went to as a kid was to get to the front row. And I would fight, like, not fight, but like, you're rude. You're like literally shoving your way to the front. That's what people do. I haven't done it in 20-something years, so relax for the people that are getting ready to attack
me. Not at the Dead
me.
show last year.
It was not at the Dead show. Okay, I was in a good seat that I
Relaxing.
bought. All right, like, relax for the people that want to attack me for pushing my way to the front. I was 18 years old and 16 years old and 17 years old, but that's what we did. And there were crazy pits. Like, I used to go to shows like Iron Maiden and stuff like that when I was a kid.
Sounds tame.
There would be like fights in the pit. Like, it was crazy. But like, I've seen stuff like this. It's scary as hell. And something that John just said is important. Don't fight against the pit when it's moving and swaying. That's when you hear people that drown in the lakes from the undertow. It's the same thing. They're trying to overpower the current. You can't do that.
Do it.
You got the best thing to do if you're drowning is to like go with it. Like, if you're getting swept away, just let it and try to swim sideways and try to get out of the current. It's the same kind of thing when you're in a pit at a show.
Parallel to the beach.
So, we talked about the Alec Baldwin incident, legally, what could happen to him. Kevin, what do you think, and Tom, both lawyers, do you think Travis Scott is going to end up being held liable for any of this?
I do.
He's
already
civilly,
getting sued.
Criminally, what do you think?
Civilly, I think.
Yeah.
So I would
19 lawsuits already.
Yeah. So I would say there's him personally. I'd have to see what the facts say, because I heard.
Well, he's got insurance for this. I'm sure.
Yeah. But I think his wife said that they didn't know anything about anybody dying until after the show.
I believe that.
I do too.
Right.
So
because he's up there, like,
he's in the. I mean, he's a performer.
but they were trying to say, like, when he was on a platform in the middle of the audience and they showed like a perspective of a kid dying and then him in the background singing, right? And it was like, dude,
that's not fair to him.
I agree. Yeah. There's like 20,000 people below him, and you're like saying one person was dying and he didn't even notice. That's
and then I also heard that his managers came up on stage and asked him to stop, and he said no. So I don't know if that's true or not.
They did,
right?
They
okay,
did,
so
and I saw a video of that. They
so
did.
I guess it all depends on what.
And he told him. He said, by the way, not that he didn't just say no. He said, "You know what we came here to do." Yeah. Boom! They go into the next song.
Okay, so
that's not good.
It's not good for him, and it could mean civil liability.
And those two are going to get you deposed. They're going to say, "What did you say to Travis on the stage?" And they're going to say, "There's people in the audience dying." And he said, "You know what you came here to do?" Boom! Yeah. He's an asshole. Like, let's be honest, right? Like, he is an asshole. I hate to say it.
The stuff coming out about this guy is not good.
No, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, he's already being sued.
I didn't know that about him. He's very popular.
I guarantee you he ends up settling a lot of these lawsuits to get his name out of it, which means he'll be liable, right?
And it's Live Nation, and it's also, I'm sure, the concert
sued,
venue,
right?
And
the police department.
It was his.
The police department's going to get sued. They were part of the security. The fire department's going to get sued. They were part of security. Why wouldn't you, Kevin?
So
you want to sue everybody.
The question is whether they'll have immunity for it, right? I mean, if
they were designing the concert for safety reasons, they were. They admitted. The police and
designed
fire,
it.
just like at our fest.
Yep.
The police and fire are intimately involved. So, like, yeah, they're going to be sued. The city's going to be sued.
And I did see that there were police officers present on horses when that breach was happening through the VIP
They
area,
did.
so they knew about it.
Yep.
So
I
maybe,
think-
maybe they had too many people there too.
They did.
I mean, this goes back to when you're picking the artist, how much do you want to make a buck versus how dangerous they are or the crowd they bring is.
So, what do you think an artist like Travis Scott costs?
$1
He's
million.
got at least $1 million.
At least $1 million.
Without a
At
doubt.
least.
At least $1 million.
For sure.
At least.
And we know, like, if you're going to have $1 million artist, that you have to, like, pack the house to make your money back, right?
Well, think about it. If you had 50,000 people there, at I don't know.
They made money that night.
$100 a ticket, $80 a
They
ticket.
made money
Is
that
that
night.
$4 million? So.
They made
yeah.
money that night.
And he's refunding everybody.
Oh, big deal.
You can tell
Freaking
he's
big
trying
rich
to
guy.
get out of
He's
this.
No,
trying to-
he's,
yeah.
I'll pay for their funeral. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Travis. What an asshole.
Yeah.
Just shut up
I mean,
and
it's-
let your lawyer talk, Travis.
Did you see his apology video?
He's an
idiot.
It's so insincere.
He's an idiot.
to me,
I didn't even realize
at
he
least.
was married to a Kardashian. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
No, they're not married, I don't think.
Oh.
Oh, really? But
They have two
dating
babies.
together.
Yeah.
Babies.
Dating with kids.
yeah.
All right.
It's messed up what's coming out.
Hey, by the way, on Friday we have Mayor Joe Hogsett as our guest.
I'm excited. Live in the studio, by the
Live
way.
in the studio.
Not
Nice.
via Skype.
If
Wouldn't
we
that
have
be
internet.
We will have internet. That's the only show in 120 or whatever we have now. We didn't have live internet. Well, I guess that's not true. We did.
We had a snowstorm once.
So 2% of the time we're not going to have shows.
All right,
and this
remember
is one
that.
Of the 2%. So hashtag Comcast sucks.
Yes.
Thanks for watching
Mayor
Ghana's.
Joe, Friday.
Thanks for watching Ghana's 127th rated podcast.
In the
Thank-
politics
category.
We are huge in Belgium, though. And, thanks. It's great to see Jill in the studio again. And Jay Vez, thank you very much. Of course, is coming Kevin Smith, the Caboose, and the Locomotive saying thank you for downloading this and not watching live. And this is a great opportunity for you to subscribe to our show. And if subscribe and get ready because we're going to start transitioning into YouTube Live next year as well. So
right.
Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. And we will see you on Friday with live guest Mayor Joe Hogsett from Indianapolis. Take care, everybody.